Hello, we will begin with attitude measurement and scaling techniques. Now, first of all, what is attitude? Attitude are the constructs. For example, attitude towards your shopping in Big Bazaar. Attitude is viewed as enduring disposition to respond consistently in a given manner to various aspects of the world, including person, events, and objects. Now, attitude is measured and it requires finding dimensions of attitudes and selecting scale to measure dimensions. Now, for example, we have attitude towards shopping in Big Bazaar is formed by number of dimensions, and these dimensions can include location of outlet, your shop floor service, your variety of products stored, your product display, variety of brands available, your fresh stock, working hours, and your ambience of your Big Bazaar. Now, all these dimensions, they affect the attitude of an individual. Now, we need a scale to obtain data on these dimensions. Then, attitude will be an index calculated by using data on dimensions. Scales used to obtain data on dimensions are called as attitude measurement scales. Now, attitude measurement scales can be categorized into two categories with the help of a single item, or they can be studied with the help of multiple items. Now, the single item format first. Now, respondents, in case he is asked to give his rating on overall attitude. For example, using the scale shown how Big Bazaar you will rate your opinion towards your shopping in Big Bazaar. Now, this can be either he can scale extremely favorable, your slightly favorable, quite favorable, and you have your neither favorable, or you have these can be the scales, or it can be extremely quiet, slightly neither. Now, he has to rate these accordingly. Now, this format collects data on each dimension of the attitude. Index is calculated to represent a respondent's attitude. Now, the various scales that can be used are, first one is summated rating scale, which is also called it as Likert scale. Now, Likert scale generate as many statements as possible about the attitude towards research object by asking few respondents to write as many statements as possible, or writing statements of ourselves by referring to focus group discussion. For example, statements for attitude towards shopping in Big Bazaar, like shopping in Big Bazaar saves time. One statement can be Big Bazaar stores fresh stock. Your Big Bazaars at cash counter in Big Bazaar is good. Now, Big Bazaar never stores duplicate products. Now, ask few respondents to tell as to what extent they agree to each statement by using following scales. Now, they can be strongly agree, or they can only agree. They can be neutral, that is neither agree nor disagree, or strongly disagree. Now, you have to further, in Likert scale, you convert the responses into the as per the statements, and you give the scores for each item. Now, favorable opinion is given a higher score than the unfavorable one. For example, I will score up till 5 and then give this scores to the statements. Now, for example, the first statement can be shopping in Big Bazaar saves time. Now for this, if I strongly agree, I'll give score of 5. If I only agree, give 4. Then neutral 3, 2 and 1. Now, or on the other hand, I can give the scores like 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2 for the same statement. Now, for an example, another statement can be shopping in Big Bazaar is a waste of time. Now, I strongly agree, I'll give 1, agree 2, neutral 3, disagree 4 and strongly disagree, I'll give 5 points. Like it is a negative statement can be termed as. Now where we are saying that shopping in Big Bazaar is a waste of time and we strongly disagree to this statement. That means we say that shopping in Big Bazaar is not a waste of time. And on the conversely, we can have the scores like this also. Now the final statements are selected by item discrimination method or factor analysis method based on these scores. Now the response number we have given this and total number of scores we have done. Now how to calculate the total number scores? We add the score of each statement to get the total scores of each respondent, and after that we calculate the 25th and 75th percentile of the score. Now in this example, 50th statement were generated and shown to the 25 respondents. Total score of each respondent arranged in ascending order are shown in this table. Now 25th and 75th percentile are as below. Now these are the numbers which are given in the analysis statistics part. Now the respondents with total score less than 25th percentile, they have overall unfavorable attitude and we call this as group A, and the respondents whose total score is greater than 75th percentile, that in that case they are over favorable attitude and we have grouped up in category B. Now we will prepare this kind of a table where we group A and group B and then we find the difference. Larger the positive difference between the statements of B and A, then the item discrimination index of the statement is this is the called as item discrimination index. Now they use independent two sample t-test or Manhattan U-test to check whether the difference is large or not. Now on these types of scales you can apply different number of statistics and you can test the hypothesis. Now select those items for those with this difference is large. Now the another scale that can be used for the analysis can be semantic differential scale. Now the opposite adjectives or poles, they are shown to the respondent on each dimension of the attitude with 7 points in between. Now we would like to know, for example, what you think about Big Bazaar. Please check the category that respondents your opinion. You can have modern, old-fashioned, unfriendly staff, friendly staff, expensive, economical, quick service, delay in service, good ambience, poor ambience, inconvenient, convenient, store hours. You have given these category into this. Now poles should be randomly distributed to left and right hand anchored position. The scoring is done between generally from 1 to 7 or from -3 to 3. Now only one pole of the component of the attitude is shown. For example, expensive store. Score has 10 response categories with no neutral or indifference categories. 5 categories have plus sign and 5 have negative sign. Big Bazaar store is shown like this. This is known as stapel scale. Now we will go to the numerical scale. In numerical scale, we have numbers rather than semantic spaces as response option to identify the categories. Now, for example, if scale has 5 response options or positions, the scale is termed as 5-point numerical scale. Now, otherwise, in case we have 7 points or response in the position, we will call it as 7-point numerical scale. Coming down to graphical rating scale, this represents the respondent with the graphical continuum. The respondent is allowed to choose any point on the continuum to indicate their attitude towards any object or individual or thing. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of these rating scales? First, we will study the category scale. Now, under category scale, we have indicate response category, and the advantage of this is it is very flexible and easy to respond. And disadvantage of the scale is that the items may be ambiguous. With few categories, only gross distinctions can be made. Now, the next comes the Likert scale. Now, Likert scale, we have to evaluate statements on the scale on the typically contains 5 alternatives. Now, it is also the easiest scales to construct, but it is hard to judge what a single score means. The another scale is your semantic differential and numerical scale, where we choose points between the bipolar adjectives on relevant dimension. Now, it is also again easy to construct, but the norms exist for the comparison. The demerit for these methods is bipolar adjectives must be found. Data may be ordinal, not interval. Now, the another scale is your stapel scale, where we choose points on the scale with a single adjective in center. Now, advantage of this scale is easier to construct than semantic differential and easy to administer. The demerit of this scale is endo points are numerical, not verbal and labels. Another method is your graphical scale, where we choose the points on a continuum. Now, visual impact has and the unlimited scale points, they have a very good impact on the respondent, and he can respond very easily. But the no standard answer is there for the graphical scale. Now, graphical scale with picture response category, in this case, we choose a visual picture. Now, the visual impact again creates a very good impact, but it is hard to attach verbal explanation to the response which is given by the respondent. In the end, I would like to summarize, the attitude represents the predisposition to respond to an object, not actual behavior towards the object. Measurement can be defined as the standardized process of assessing numbers or other symbols to certain characteristics of objects of interest. Thank you.